Okay, let's test this Tempest Cleric damage. Turn-based mode. Normally I don't like using haste in my damage testing, but we got a limit test. We gotta see just how much we can do it here. So let's just go ahead and start off the fight with a lightning bolt. Just so she summons her minions. Okay, we're not gonna add Destructive Wrath just yet. Okay, now we pop off. Create water. Let's make it big enough to hit everything. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay, splash. Alright. Everything is now wet. Taking double lightning damage. Let's start chain lightning up in here. Arcane battery. Actually, we'll use the one from the staff first. So chain lightning plus twin spell. Bang. Bang. Destructive Wrath. Holy shit, what? What just happened? Wait, she died too! Oh, this is the highest damage build in the game. This is a real reaction, y'all. This is the first time I'm doing this shit. God, I literally just respec 5 seconds ago. Okay. Well, we're not done yet. We have the Elixir of Bloodlust, and we killed like 5 things, so of course we have another action. Arcane Battery. Okay. Chain Lightning. Twin Spell again. You and you, I guess, right? Destructive Wrath, yes? Wait, everything's dead. I'm not even done with my turn. I had a bonus action left for another one. Oh my god. Well, I didn't find it. I did some research, but I think I completed the highest damage build in the game. Holy. What's going on with y'all, man? AoE back at you again with another Baldur's Gate 3 video build guide. And this time we are making a lightning god. Yes. You saw the damage. You saw what it was doing. This, by far, I think actually is the highest damage build in the game. And it's not even close. Mainly because, you know, when you combine the wet condition with lightning spells, with a high spell save DC, with Destructive Wrath, which I'm going to explain in a little bit, you're doing a lot of damage, not only to one target, but multiple. If y'all thought my Eldritch Blaster was doing damage, this one is where it's at. Now, I will say this is more, this build is like a one turn hitter quitter. You know, you kind of, you know, unload yourself early. And this is probably one of those builds that are going to take a lot of long rests. But you have if you have the camp supplies and you have the resources, you know, then you can definitely play this build. I would not recommend playing this build in a group though, because it'll make your other party members useless because they don't have to do anything. All you need is 1 or 2 turns and everything is dead. Really, no matter how much HP they have. Y'all was seeing the amount of... I was doing hundreds to AoEs. You know what I'm saying? So, build is crazy, and I can't wait to show y'all. So without further ado, let's just go and talk about the levels, the items. I'm going to teach y'all how to play it at the end. Also, someone suggested a TLDR section at the end of the video, just in case no one wants to watch an hour-long video. You know, so I definitely will do that later. I will include that in the video. And yeah, man, let's go and get it going. I welcome y'all. I present to y'all the Lightning God of Baldur's Gate 3. Alright, so at level 1, we are starting off as Sorcerer, mainly because we want the proficiency for Constitution for those concentration saving checks, because we are going to be concentrating on spells such as haste. And if you've had haste canceled, or if you've had haste, you know, broken on your character, you know that it's really, really bad because you're stunned for a turn, basically. So we go with Sorcerer to start with the Constitution proficiency. As far as the cantrip goes, I just chose all the elements. You know, you probably have someone in your party that has utility. You're the damage dealer, so I just picked, you know, Firebolt, Ray of Frost, Shocking Grasp, just to have all the elements on lock, and Light. This is actually the most important cantrip. It's going to matter later in the build. But yeah, these 4 cantrips, this is what I went with. As far as spells go, you want to go with Shield. Obviously, you know, as a spellcaster build, your AC is not going to be very high, but luckily Shield offsets that. If your AC is only 15, it's basically 20 because you have Shield on you. All right, it turns us squishies into not so squishy. You know what I'm saying? So Shield is definitely a must. And I would also recommend Chromatic Orb. So Chromatic Orb can be changed into different elements. The highest damage version of it is Thunder, and Thunder is also doubled when wet conditioned. And we're not going to always be casting level 6 spells with this build. You know what I'm saying? You're going to run out of spell slots. So you're going to want level 1 spells that you can also upcast to deal a lot of damage. And I want to point out that Chromatic Orb is one of those spells that you can also twin. Twinning spells, if you're not twinning spells in your Sorcerer, you're fucking up, because you could also twin Haste, you could twin Chromatic Orb, you could twin Chain Lightning, a level 6 spell. It's crazy, all right? So Chromatic Orb and Shield are definitely the spells that I would start out with. As far as the subclass goes, we are going with the Draconic Bloodline for a couple reasons. One, it comes with Draconic Resilience, which means you don't have to run Mage Armor. This is your Mage Armor for you. It's passive. And of course, more HP for a squishy character is great. But more importantly, we want this Draconic Bloodline because we want to be blue. We want to be a blue one. I even chose the color, a little teal, a little cyan. Okay, we want to be blue here because you know, it comes with a lightning spell. But more importantly, on level 6, we get the boost to lightning spells when we add our charisma modifier to those. Okay, so that's why we want to go blue. You could also go bronze. Can I click, please? You could also go bronze here if you want. I can't click for some reason. I'm lagging. Okay. You can go blue. You can go bronze. I just went blue just to match the whole thing better. As far as the ability scores for the beginning go, you want to have your charisma at 17. Because I would suggest giving, no matter what party you're in, this is going to be the strongest character. So this is going to be the main damage dealing character. So I would suggest giving the Hag here, doing the Hag quest, you know, and getting the +1 to your charisma. So when you're level 4, you can get that 20 to your charisma very, very early. I've said that many times in my videos. And I suggest the same thing for this one, okay? Second most important stat is Constitution. Again, Constitution, saving throws, concentration checks, they're super important. We're going to be hasting all the time, and you don't want your haste being broken. For the third stat, I chose Dex. So if I'm not wearing heavy armor, then I'm probably doing 14 Dex for any build, just so I can get that +2 to AC, and I can get that +2 to initiative rolls, okay? And with this build, you want to go fairly early, just so the enemy doesn't have you don't give them a turn. They don't have time to react to anything because they're already going to be dead. So yeah, in order of importance, charisma, constitution, and dexterity. Okay. As far as the skills go, you're probably going to be. I like to make my spellcasters the intelligent checkers, so I just chose intelligence. But choose whatever you want, whatever your party needs. Okay. So that's level 1 as a sorcerer. My bad, I had the volume off the whole time until now. Shit. Anyway, level 2, we're sticking with Sorcerer. We're going to be here for quite a while, okay? And the spells that I would choose as a Sorcerer for level 2 is, again, I like to put my characters into categories. I put this character into the spell casting damage category. So I pretty much only gave them damage spells, damage and mobility spells. You know what I'm saying? So I chose Ice Knife, which you can twin, by the way. You can twin this. Other really useful spells are Enhanced Sleep, which is a ritual spell, so it doesn't cost a spell slot. If you need someone in your party to give everyone triple jump distance, then just pick this instead. Another really good one is Magic Missile. Magic Missile is guaranteed damage overall. You know, you should have a pretty high chance to hit this early in the game with your charisma being so high at the start. But if you need some guaranteed damage, you can go Magic Missile here, no problem. If you need some sleep, you can go sleep. If you need some push to push enemies off a ledge, and pushing is really OP in this game, like I've said before, then just go Thunder Wave. But for me, I chose Ice Knife because I wanted to continue the theme of the build, because the build is not only a lightning sorcerer, it's got a little bit of ice too, because ice, cold damage, is also doubled. Ice, I believe ice, lightning, and thunder damage are all doubled in wet condition. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I chose Ice Knife. I want to continue the theme of the build. All right. And for the class passive, the meta magic is what sorcerers are known for. I chose Twin Spell, which is our most important meta magic. You know, even more important than Quicken Spell, believe it or not, because we're twinning a lot of our spells, and those spells are doing a lot of damage. All right. And as far as the second one goes, you can choose whatever you want. I chose Distant just because I want to be as far away as possible. But you can go careful. The reason why I didn't go careful though is because we're going to do something later to make careful useless. Okay, so twinned and distant are distant are the ones that I recommend, and that's level 2 as a sorcerer. At level 3, we are sticking with sorcerer still. Okay, and we are going to get Misty Step. Classic, super good mobility skill. All right, as a ranged character, you want to make sure you stay the fuck out of the way, okay? And you don't want to get damaged by your own spells too, right? So I chose Misty Step. You can also choose Shatter. We're going to be taking both of these anyway. But if you need some AoE at level 3 early, you could just choose Shatter, another thunder spell. It aligns with the theme of the build. That's all good. And of course, the class passive that we take is Quicken Spell. You know, we want to add to sorcerers are known for burst damage. We want to add to that with Quicken Spell, so you can use a spell as a bonus action now. So now you can Chromatic Orb, Twin Spell, boom, and then Quicken Spell, Chromatic Orb, Twin Spell, boom, if you have that many sorcery points. Okay, and that's level 3 as a sorcerer. At level 4, we are still sticking with sorcerer, and the cantrip that I chose is Friends, because Friends is super good. It gives you advantage on charisma checks during dialogue, and there is a lot of dialogue in this game. So for things like Friends and Thaumaturgy are really good cantrips for passing those charisma dialogues. Okay, and you don't really need any of these other spells. You already have what you need at this point. As far as the spell I chose, again, we're choosing Shatter. So you can choose Misty Step and Shatter, and whichever way you want. I chose Misty Step because I was already doing enough damage with Chromatic Orb. But again, if you need AoE early, you can get Shatter a level earlier, okay? But the most important part is the feat. What feat am I getting? The ability score improvement. Yes, if you don't know what feat to get, if you're ever asking yourself what feat to get, just get this one. It's probably just going to be your best one anyway, okay? And I chose this one because I wanted to get my charisma as high as possible early, okay? And of course, I gave the hag hair to this character, so this 19 charisma is actually 20. And there are a couple ways that we're going to increase that charisma even further to 24. Crazy, all right? So that's level 4 as a sorcerer. At level 5, we are still sticking with Sorcerer, good old Sorcerer, OPAF, and the spell that we're getting is one of our staples, Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is a straight line, narrow corridor AoE, okay? And it can be upcasted to deal more damage. This is definitely one of those spells that we'll be using a lot. Okay, this and Chain Lightning are probably the two spells that I'd recommend using as much with this build. Lightning Bolt if you can hit multiple enemies, Chain Lightning if there's like 2 or 3, and these combined with, you know, being wet, combined with Destructive Wrath, which are two things I'm going to explain later, don't worry, it does crazy damage. So Lightning Bolt for sure at this level. At level 6, as a sorcerer, Draconic Bloodline Blue, we finally get Elemental Affinity Damage. When you cast a spell that deals damage of the type associated with your Draconic ancestry, you add your Charisma modifier. So now we have a +5 Charisma modifier. So +5 is getting added to each and every single Lightning Bolt, Chromatic Orb Lightning, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's really good. And the spell that I would choose is obviously Haste. Haste is going to be the thing that we will be concentrating on from now until forever, pretty much. And when you use Haste, I suggest twinning it. It only costs one spell slot, one sorcery point to twin it and cast it on another character as well. Okay. The problem with that is, you know, obviously, if your concentration gets broken, then both of those characters are going to be stunned, and that's really bad. But don't worry. Again, we're going to figure out a way to make sure we make those concentration checks. We already started with Sorcerer, so we have proficiency in Constitution saving throws, but there is one more thing that we can do to make sure we can for sure make these concentration checks, okay? And that's level 6 as a Sorcerer. Level 7, we're still a Sorcerer. We're still a Sorcerer. We're going to be here for a little bit, okay? But we're soon going to leave. But for level 7, for now, we're sticking as a Sorcerer. And the spell that I chose Ice Storm. Again, I made sure this character was the damage dealer / mobility character, okay? But if you need someone in your party that needs to fly, that needs to counter spell, that needs to slow everyone, that needs to open locks, that needs to be super mobile, that needs to banish someone, then by all means pick what you want, okay? So far, the only staple spells that I've showed you are Misty Step, Chromatic Orb, and Lightning Bolt. Other than those 3 spells, you can choose whatever you want. For me, I actually like Ice Storm. One, it aligns with the wet condition, so it'll deal actually double damage. And 2, it's one of the larger AoEs in the game. The AoE is huge, and it's not a concentration spell, so you can use this while you're hasted. You know what I'm saying? If there's a bunch of if there's 50 rats, which happens a few times in this game, just Ice Storm and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, I chose Ice Storm, but hey, choose what you want. All right. All right, we have arrived at our last level into Sorcerer. I know, I'm sorry. Level 8 is our last level in Sorcerer for a few reasons. 1, we get another level 4 spell, and I chose Dimension Door because, again, that's my theme for my Sorcerer. Now I have Misty Step, Dimension Door, Ice spells, Thunder spells, Lightning spells. I got options, okay? And I can get away if I need to. And of course we have Haste as well. That's my Sorcerer, but you can, again, you only need Lightning Bolt, Chromatic Orb, Misty Step, Dimension Door, and Chain Lightning for this build to work. Any of the spells, you can choose whatever you want. Oh, and Haste. You want Haste too, okay? And of course, why we stop at level 8 Sorcerers, so we can get another feat. And the feat, first of all, there's a lot of options, but the feat that I chose was Warcaster, because I want to make sure my Haste does not get broken. When you play in higher difficulties, enemies have new moves and they're a little bit smarter, and they're probably going to if they deem you as a threat, they're probably going to aim for you. And this character is the threat, trust. So if they have rangers, you're going to get hit, and you got to make sure you make these concentration checks. If your haste gets broken, it's bad, because you're probably twinning it. That means 2 characters are stunned. You might get a team wipe. So for me, I wanted Warcaster, okay? But hey, there's other good options here, and let me show you. You can get Dual Wielder, and you could dual wield Marco Heshkir and Staff of Spell Power. You can 100% do that, so now you have 2 Arcane Batteries, and your Chain Lightning will cost nothing twice. That's pretty strong too, okay? You can also get Elemental Adept. So Elemental Adept means you ignore resistance and you cannot roll a 1 on damage dice. Alright, so it's pretty good if you want to deal a little bit of extra more damage, and of course you would pick the lightning version. But the reason why I didn't pick Dual Wielder is because I didn't really care about the second Arcane Battery, because we already had so many spell slots, and I have a bunch of Chain Lightning scrolls. So spell slots don't really mean much to me, because I saved up enough money to buy a bunch of Chain Lightning scrolls. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Dual Wielder was kind of useless. And there's a shield that pretty much does what Dual Wielder wanted, or what I wanted my offhand to do anyway, with this Ketheric shield, right? So for me, Dual Wielder wasn't so useful. And Elemental Adept, if you only pick Lightning, it kind of makes your ice spells and your thunder spells less fun to use, because you might as well use a lightning spell, you know what I'm saying? And I like having options. So for me, Warcaster was just the most consistent choice. This meant I will most 99% of the time, I will most likely make that concentration check on haste, and I definitely recommend that. Okay, but again, do what you want. This is just a template. You know what I'm saying? Pick what you like, pick what you don't. It's all good. And then tell me what you chose in the comments. I'm always down to share knowledge and whatnot. But anyway, that is our last level in the Sorcerer. It's time to multi-class, baby. All right, it's multi-class time, and what are we multi-classing into? You bet your ass, Cleric. Cleric! Let me explain why. Let's go down the list first. First, cantrips, thaumaturgy, to help dialogue, Sacred Flame, because why not, and guidance, because guidance is broken. You're never going to use these anyway. It doesn't really matter, okay? The subclass, this is the subclass. You want to get Tempest Domain, okay? You have to get Tempest Domain, and this matters in the next level of Cleric. Not this one, but the next level. But yeah, okay. Anyway, as far as the deity goes, it doesn't matter. I just chose Tempest because it's near Tempest, and I was just going with the theme. Choose whatever you want, though. It doesn't really matter here. And as far as the prepared spells go, this is your best spell. This is your bread and butter. This spell right here, Create or Destroy Water. This is what makes the world go round. This is why you saw me destroy that whole Devil's Fee house with a level 12 character and a bunch of high HP creatures. This is why. Create or Destroy Water. All right? And I'll explain this spell more later, but this makes it so all your spells deal double damage. All right, this is very important, and luckily clerics can get this very early. So bang. All right, we are level 2 Tempest Cleric, and the reason why we're stopping here is because now we have all that we need in Destructive Wrath. When you roll thunder or lightning damage, you can use your Channel Divinity to deal maximum damage instead. Okay, so on top of things being wet, taking double damage. Oh, also, I want to correct myself. When you wet something, they only take double damage from ice and lightning, not thunder. Okay, I just want to make that correction. Anyway, so when you make something wet, they take double lightning. And of course, when you upcast lightning bolt, it does a lot of damage. You add some dice onto that, and you add this Channel Divinity. If they failed their spell save DC with double damage lightning damage, and you use your Channel Divinity to deal the max of that, that is why everything dies. It's crazy. Shout out to the person who thought of this combo. It definitely was not me. I'm a biter. Okay, I just take stuff and make it my own. You know. But this combo is the highest damage combo in the game. And I don't think it's close. The Eldritch Blaster is a hard hitter, okay? But that's a single target hard hitter. This does damage to everything. It's kind of crazy. But yes, that's the reason why we go Tempest Cleric, level 2 for Destructive Wrath. But now, it's time to multi-class even more. And this is where I decided to go with my flavor on the build, okay? Here we go. All right. We are level 11. What are we multi-classing into for the last 2 levels? Well, it's easy. Wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. We're doing wizard. And it's pretty minor, the reason why we're doing wizard. You could definitely stay as a sorcerer, okay? But I didn't really need any more sorcery points for the sorcerer build. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to find a different subclass, a different class that I could choose that will make the build, you know, just a little bit better. And that's wizard for me. Evocation wizard to be exact, but we're not there just yet. For cantrips, doesn't matter. I just chose damage. For spells, doesn't matter. I just chose ritual spells because they're great. And for prepared spells, it doesn't matter because when you're a wizard, even level 1 wizards, when you're a wizard, you can learn spells. Okay? All you need is a scroll. So you just gotta buy or pick up 1 Chain Lightning scroll. All right, which is very easy. You can buy it in the Sorcerer Sundries. They stock up on Chain Lightnings every damn day. That's where I buy mine. Okay, just buy 1. Buy a bunch actually, because they don't cost a spell slot. It's actually kind of OP. And just learn it. It costs like 100 gold. Kind of crazy. But yeah, that's why it says prepared here, because I've already learned it. Because I'm respecting the character again. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just pick up 1 Chain Lightning scroll, learn that bitch, and then let's go on to the final level where we become an evocation wizard. All right, level 12, the final level. And yes, like I said, we are going to be evocation because of this feature, sculpt spells. This is why I wanted to go 2 levels into wizard. Create pockets of safety within your evocation spells. Allies automatically succeed their saving throws against these spells and take no damage from them. Now, when I was playing this build, sometimes even my tankiest tanky tank would be in the middle. They die because I deal too much damage. And sometimes your teammates are going to be in the way. You know what I mean? You don't want to kill your teammates. You don't want to be that guy. There's always that one D&D guy that's just fireballing everything and killing everyone. It doesn't care. You don't want to be that guy. So for me, I chose 2 levels into wizard evocation to get sculpt spells. So now I can cast lightning bolt. I can cast ice storm. I can do it. I'll do all that shit and not have to worry about my teammates dying around me. Okay. So that's why I did it. Again, for these final 2 levels, you can 100% stay sorcerer and be totally fine. You could multi-class into something else if you want. You can do 2 more levels of cleric and get another feat. That's good too. You can get elemental adept lightning. That's not bad. But for me, I didn't want to kill my teammates. Okay, so I chose sculpt spells. All right. And as far as the spells go, it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're preparing chain lightning every day. Okay. And yeah, that's the final level. Now I'm going to show you all the items and why I use them, and options as well. All right, so let's go over the items from top to bottom, shall we? For the hat, birthright. If you're a charisma based spellcaster, it's hard not to use birthright because it gives you +2 charisma, which can surpass the 20 mark. And if you do the mirror of loss, you can get that to 24. So my charisma is very high. My will does a lot of damage. Okay. But there are options besides birthright. You can definitely use something like Hood of the Weave, +2 bonus to spell save DC. This is probably your other best option. Getting your spell save DC as high as possible to make sure you do the max amount of damage is pretty important. But the spell attack rolls wasn't that important to me. And the good thing with birthright is it's +1 to spell save DC and +1 to damage because of my draconic ancestry. So for me, I chose birthright. But if you want to use something else, again, it's all up to you. But I feel like birthright is actually the best choice. Next is the cloak of the weave. Obvious. We want to get our spell save DC as high as possible, and absorb elements doesn't really matter. It's more so. Actually, absorb elements is good because you take half damage from something, but you don't use attacks much often. So the second line of this item doesn't really do anything. It's more so for the +1 spell save DC. Okay, options: Cloak of Protector, Cloak of Displacement if you want some defense. But again, I like going full spellcaster, and I want to get that spell save DC as high as possible. Next item, Robe of the Weave. Same thing here, +1 to spell save DC. And of course, it comes with +2 AC, and we get +2 AC from our dex as well. So our dex sitting at 19 without shield is pretty good for a person that does this much damage. All right. Next item, Helldust Gloves. All right. Now this looks funky, but again, it's literally just for the spell save DC. Other options. Let's see what other options are. You can go Gauntlets at Hill Strength to get your strength up if you wanted. What else can you go? I think there are some lightning or thunder gloves that you can go to if you want to be spicy and go that full theme with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I would just use Helldust Gloves. Just, bro, it comes with spell save DC. All right, and these are the only gloves that do that, by the way. Now I know the you'd probably rather give this to your weapon attacker in your party, and that's totally fine. If that's the case, then just put on Wondrous Gloves. Then put on some Wondrous Gloves, get +1 to your AC. But if you have no one using these, then definitely put these on this character. As far as boots go, you can use these boots or these boots. These Disintegrating Nightwalkers and Space's Hunt's boots is just, they're just so good. You know, any type of mobility is great in this game, okay? And these boots are just so solid and moving around. Another good option is Boots of Striding, so you can't get knocked prone, all right? That is actually another way that you can get knocked prone. So if you find yourself getting knocked prone, which happens a little bit, especially early game in this game, then just put these boots on, because now with Warcaster and with these boots, you will never lose concentration on your haste. So yeah, I actually would prefer using these boots. We could wear heavy armor, right? Let me double check. Yeah, we can. Okay, good. Oh wow, we can wear everything. Damn, I didn't even realize this build you can use light, medium, heavy, and shields. Kind of crazy. Can I use a bow? Oh, I can use this bow? Oh shit. Okay, nice. I just made the build even stronger. I'll explain in a second. Okay. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, I would actually prefer these boots because you're going to be concentrating on haste, right? Now you can't get knocked prone, so now your concentration checks are good and your prone is good, so these boots are good. Otherwise, near boots, Space Hunt boots, those are pretty freaking solid. Okay. As far as the weapon goes, this is a classic. You guys probably know of this one, Marco Heshkir. You can get this from again, I'm not going to say where to get each and every single item. If you want to do that, you can Google it. It's pretty easy to find. All right, this is not the type of video. I just want to show you all the items that I chose and why I chose them, so the video isn't 2 hours fucking long. You know what I'm saying? I already talk way too much as it is, that you guys have already noticed. Okay. Anyway, Marco Heshkir, +1 spell save DC, Arcane Battery. You can expend a spell slot no matter what level it is without using a spell slot. It's great. Kareska's Favor. We're obviously using the lightning version of Kareska's Favor for even more lightning proficiency damage. Crazy. And it comes with a free Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt too. Okay. Easily best in slot for the build. And I would not change it. As far as the offhand, I went with a more defensive option because, again, I didn't... you could have went Dual Wielder and used Staff of Spell Power. You could have used Spell Sparkler too. But for me, you know, I just wanted to get the character as defensive as possible because it was like bound to die. You know, it was way too squishy. My AC was like 14 without this thing. So for me, I chose to use Kethric's Shield, which gives +1 spell save DC, which is what we're mainly looking for with this build, by the way. We're mainly looking for spell save DC. You know what I'm saying? So I chose Kethric's Shield. If you want to go the Dual Wielder route, then by all means, go ahead, right? All right. Okay, I have a question. Why did my AC go down? What's up with that, though, huh? What's up with that? Whatever, doesn't matter. Next, the Amulet of the Devout. Okay, now I'm going to tell you where to get this because I don't think many people know where to get this. This can be found at the Stormshore Tabernacle, which is near the Basilisk Gate waypoint. It's that little church, that little place where you can like praise the gods. There is a hatch there. Go underneath that hatch. Go to the end of the hall. There will be a bunch of chests. Only choose the chest at the end of the hall because if you keep looting items from there, you get cursed, and that curse is kind of bad. But this is the only good item there anyway. And this gives a +2 to spell save DC. And if you have Channel Divinity, you can gain an additional use, which is great. An additional use of Destructive Wrath means more damage. And this is easily the most best slot for this build in particular. Obviously this would be great for a control cleric as well, you know, but for this build, this is definitely best in slot. I would not use any of the amulet besides this one. And if you wanted to, if you don't have this amulet, if it's too late, which it shouldn't be because it's probably still there, you can always use this one. If you don't have Warcaster, you can use Amulet of Greater Health. And that's really the only other option that I would give you. Okay. I guess Lightning Blast pendant. I haven't tested this pendant out too much, but this is probably overdoing it. But Amulet of the Devout is definitely best in slot. Okay. And as far as the rings go, I just went with the classic Coruscation Callous Glow ring combo because it inflicts a debuff on the enemies and it does extra damage. Okay. You can choose whatever you want. I love this combo when it comes to spellcasters. I normally do this every time for my damaged spellcaster. It's just really nice to have. I make the enemies hit a lot less, and I do an extra bit of damage with this ring. So I love this combo. If you're not using it on your spellcaster, I suggest you do so. And of course, the last item that apparently we have proficiency in is the Gaunter Mail. And this one... Okay, so the good thing about this one is... this actually can change the build a little bit because this comes with Celestial Haste. Alright, and Celestial Haste, the reason why this is called Celestial Haste is because you don't get lethargic. You don't get stunned off of normal haste if you break concentration. This only lasts for 5 turns though, but honestly, with this build, you're ending combat in less than 5 turns, for sure. So yeah, you don't even have to be concentrating, or you don't even have to make concentration checks. Although, you still probably want to, just in case. I would still get Warcaster and stuff like that because I want to make sure I keep my haste and not have to waste another turn casting it, right? So, but yeah, this is the best kind of haste, and this can be found on the Gaunter Mail at the Steel Foundry. You know if you know, okay? And that's it for the items. And now I guess I should show you guys how to play the build, and I'll explain as I'm doing everything, all right? Okay. So here we are, back at Devil's Fee. I just reloaded the save from earlier. First thing, let's just do enter turn-based combat. We're gonna start off with some haste, and we're gonna initiate the combat with using a lightning bolt. Don't do that. Oh, also, I like to convert all my level 2 spell slots into sorcery points because I'm normally not using those anyway. My level 1 spell slots are being used for shield. So, do what you want, but that's what I like doing. But in any case, let's go ahead and start off this combat. So I can show you guys everything. Boop, boop. Okay. Oh, Helsik goes first this time. Oh. Promise of Wealth. Your allies with infectious greed grant advantage on attack rolls against it? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Alright. That doesn't do shit to me. Okay, now... Okay, that's kind of a problem. She's back there. But now I guess we try to pop off. So first thing... So the good thing about Create Water is the higher you cast it, the larger the area. So right now it's only this. Level 3. It's this. But we want to hit everything. So for this one it's level 4. Right, and we want to make sure Helsik gets caught in it as well. There we go. That's good. Alright, now everything's wet. See? Everything has the wet condition. Let's go ahead and hover over wet. Vulnerable to lightning and cold damage. Okay, we obviously want to take advantage of the lightning version. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start off with the chain lightning we get from the Kareska's Favor. Alright. Can I even target her? I might not even have to target her because the chain lightning can do it anyway. But for chain lightning, you want to twin spell this bitch. Okay? It only costs 1 sorcery point. That's crazy. So boom. Boom. It begins. And of course we're doing Destructive Wrath for max damage. And if they all fail their DC. So this thing has 183 HP. These two things have 183 HP. Boom. They're both dead. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, Helsik's alive. Okay, Helsik's alive. Let's go ahead and just fly over here real quick. Let's finish off Helsik. Why don't we just finish off Helsik? Alright. Arcane Battery. Next Chain Lightning. I can't even twin spell anything, but let's just do it anyway. Let's twin spell her and a lamp or something. This chandelier. Fuck this candelabrum, okay? Destructive Wrath. And there you go, man. It's just... And we still had a bonus action to cast another Chain Lightning. Okay? And by the way, one of those turns was used to make Create Water. So if we had full turns, we had another turn of Chain Lightning. So there you go, y'all. Crazy build. Okay? But I guess now I should do the TLDR version. So let's do that real quick. Alright, how do I even do a TLDR? Let's see. I guess we'll start off with levels. Level 1, Sorcerer. Level 2, Sorcerer. Level 3, Sorcerer Draconic Bloodline Blue. Okay. Level 4, Sorcerer Ability Score Improvement +2 Charisma. Level 5, Sorcerer. Level 6, Sorcerer. Level 7, Sorcerer. Level 8, Sorcerer. Multi-class, next level. level 9 will be a level 8 Sorcerer and level 1 Cleric. The domain we pick is Tempest. And then we want to level another level into Cleric next level. So at level 10 will be a level 8 Sorcerer and a level 2 Cleric. At level 11, we're going to dip into Wizard. Okay, and at level 12, we're going to dip into Evocation Wizard. Now it will be a level 8 Draconic Blue Bloodline Sorcerer, a level 2 Tempest Cleric, and a level 2 Evocation Wizard, okay? And here are the most important spells that you want for this build. I will go very slow. You want to use Light on your weapon, so your friggin' rings do their thing, okay? You want to get Chromatic Orb and twin it early game. You want to get Ice Knife and twin it early game. You want to get Misty Step, because Misty Step is amazing. You want to get Shatter for that AoE early game, you know what I mean? You want to get Friends Cantrip, because it's really OP using in dialogues. You want to get Haste, because this is the spell that you're going to be using to concentrate with. You want to get Ice Storm, because Ice Storm also gets doubled with the wet condition. You want to get Dimension Door, because Dimension Door is the best mobile skill in that it can travel the longest. You definitely want to, this is the most important spell, Create or Destroy Water, which you will get from your level 1 Cleric. So you can actually dip into Cleric earlier once you get Lightning Bolt if you want to do this stuff real early. You know what I'm saying? But yes, you want Create or Destroy Water, and you normally want to upcast this to cover a wider area so things get wet, right? I don't know why I said that. Sorry. And you definitely want to get Lightning Bolt. This is one of your staple damage spells. But your best damage spell, in my opinion, is Chain Lightning. Double damage, spell save DC fail, Destructive Wrath is crazy, okay? And how you play the build, TLDR, you create Destroy Water, you twin Chain Lightnings, and you go crazy. If they're in a line, if there's a lot of AoE in a line, you upcast Lightning Bolt and go crazy. And of course, you add Destructive Wrath, your Channel Divinity on top of that, because it does a lot of damage. And here are the items. For the hat, Birthright for +2 Charisma. For the Cloak of the Weave, +1 spell save DC. Robe of the Weave, +1 spell save DC. Helldusk Gloves, +1 spell save DC. Boots, Dimension Door Boots. You could also use Misty Step Boots or the Prone Boots that I showed you. For the weapon, Marco Heshkir. We're using Koreshka's Lightning version for that right here. Bolts of Doom. For the offhand, Kethric's Shield. If you're dual wielding, you can use Staff of Spell Power or Spell Sparkler if you like. For the Amulet of the Devout, +2 spell save DC and an additional use of Destructive Wrath. Really, really good for this build. Other options are Amulet of Greater Health, and that's about it. For the rings, use whatever you want. I love the Coruscation Callous Glow Ring combo. You can also get these rings super early in Act... excuse me. Oh my god, my voice. You can get these rings in Act 2, so fairly early in the game, you know what I'm saying? I love this combo for spellcasters. It is so good. All right. And for the range weapon, which is your stat stick, where you're using this because we want the Celestial Haste. And before Gontir Mail, the option is Darkfire Shortbow, which we are not proficient in, so never mind. But yeah, you want to use this for the Celestial Haste, and Celestial Haste is better than normal haste because you don't get lethargic after it gets broken. And that's the TLDR. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, leave a sub. Watch the video to the end. There's a lot of things that the algorithm takes into account. It's kind of annoying, okay? But yeah, just do a few of those things. You know what I'm saying? Leave a tab open, put the video up. I don't know, bro. Anything to support. It actually all really helps. That little like, that little comment, it all helps. Okay? So when YouTubers say it, they're not just saying it. It's actually true because we can see it in our analytics and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So please support in any way possible. I appreciate it. And of course, I'm constantly working on builds. My Act 2 best items in Act 2 is already done. I'll be releasing that next Wednesday, and my upload schedule is pretty much Monday, Wednesday, Friday. For now, it's Monday a build guide, Wednesday like a an item guide, I guess. I don't know. And Fridays are another build guide. So that's how I'm gonna keep it up for now. I don't want to upload too much because I don't want you guys to get sick of me so early. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, thanks for watching, y'all. I appreciate it. This game is awesome. Easily game of the year. It's not even close in my opinion. But yeah, I'm a real gamer. I love playing games. Okay, and I plan to continue to make content because I didn't know it was so much fun. Right, seeing y'all. And of course, if you have any 2 cents you want to put in, if there are some things you didn't like, if there are some things you want to add on to the build that I just showed you, please put them in the comments. I want to increase my knowledge of this game. I'm sure you do too. I am not one to throw feedback in someone else's face. So please, if you got something to say, then please say it. Don't hold back. Right. Anyway, thanks for watching. I rant. I talk way too much. So with that being said, y'all have a good one. I'm out of here. And thanks for watching, y'all.